Have you ever had a moment? A single snapshot from your childhood that seems to hold the entire story of your life? For me, that snapshot is a rickety old garden swing, with peeling green paint and a gentle creak that sounded like a whisper. I can still feel the splintered wood under my small hands, the sun warm on my face. That swing was the centerpiece of my childhood, and the stage for a promise I didn't even know was being made. I was 7, and he was 6. His name was Leo, and he was the new kid next door. He was quiet, with big, curious eyes that seemed to take in everything. My backyard, with its sprawling oak tree and that inviting swing, became his sanctuary. I remember that first day so clearly. He stood by the fence, who's watching. So, I did what any bossy 7-year-old would do. I marched over, grabbed his hand, and dragged him to the swing. "Get on," I'd ordered. He hesitated, but climbed on, and I started to push. Higher and higher he'd go, his quiet demeanor melting away with each arc. His shy smile turned into a wide, joyous laugh that echoed through the garden. Pushing him on that swing became our ritual. It was my job. I was the one who sent him soaring, the one who made him feel like he could touch the sky. "Higher, Lily. Higher," he'd shout, and I'd push with all my might, my own laughter mixing with his. It felt important, like I was in charge of his happiness. In those moments, you felt strong. I was the one giving the push. As the years went by, that swing saw it all. We shared secrets there, patched up scraped knees, and dreamed about what we'd be when we grew up. Leo wanted to be an astronaut, an explorer, a builder of magnificent things. My dreams were a little closer to home. I loved to draw. I filled sketchbook after sketchbook with characters and worlds that lived only in my head. The swing was my favorite place to create. Leo would sit on the grass, watching me, occasionally peeking over my shoulder. "That's amazing, Lily," he'd say. "You're going to be a famous artist one day." I'd just smile and blush, dismissing it. It was just a hobby, just something I did. High school changed things, as it always does. The swing sat unused for longer stretches. We were busy with homework, with friends, with the confusing, exhilarating rush of being teenagers. Leo found his place in the theater club, not on the stage, but behind Italiano. He was a master at building sets. He could take a pile of wood and a can of paint and create a castle, a forest, an entirely new world. He was building his dreams, piece by piece. Meanwhile, my sketchbooks were starting to gather dust. The pressure of grades, of choosing a sensible career path, started to weigh on me. Art school seemed like a frivolous, impossible dream. My parents, though loving, gently steered me toward more practical subjects. "Art is a wonderful hobby, honey," they'd say. And slowly, I started to believe them. The vibrant worlds in my head began to fade, replaced by formulas and essays. I was becoming practical. One evening, during our senior year, I found Leo in my backyard, sitting on the old swing, gently rocking back and forth. The creak was louder now, more like a groan. I sat on the grass beside him. He was holding one of my old sketchbooks he must have found in the garage. He was flipping through the pages, a thoughtful look on his face. "I missed this," he said quietly, pointing to a drawing of a whimsical, floating city. "I miss the person who drew this." His words hit me harder than I expected. "That's just kid stuff, Leo," I mumbled, pulling at a blade of grass. "I have to think about my future now, a real job." He stopped the swing and looked at me, his eyes serious. "This is your future, Lily. This is real. Don't you see? You build worlds with a pencil, just like I build them with a hammer. Why is my dream valid and yours isn't?" He stood up and walked behind me. "You spent years pushing me on this swing," he said, his voice soft. "You made me feel like I could fly. You gave me the courage to try things. Now, it's my turn." He started talking, not just about my art, but about a plan. He'd already researched art schools, application deadlines, portfolio requirements. He'd found scholarships I could apply for. While I had been giving up, he had been quietly believing for the both of us. He was pushing me, not with his hands, but with his faith in me. That night was the turning point. With Leo's unwavering encouragement, I started drawing again. It felt like coming home. I spent weeks putting together my portfolio. He was my biggest cheerleader, my harshest critic, and my most dedicated project manager. He'd bring me coffee, tell me to take a break, and then tell me to get back to work. He was relentless. He was my push. The day the acceptance letter came, I ran next door and found him in his garage, working on a new set piece. I didn't say a word. I just handed him the envelope. He opened it, and a slow, brilliant smile spread across his face. It was the same joyous smile from all those years ago on the swing. "I knew it," he said, pulling me into a hug. "I always knew it." Years later, I stood in a gallery in New York at my first solo exhibition. My paintings, filled with the same whimsical worlds I'd once sketched in my backyard, hung on the walls. The centerpiece of the show was a large canvas titled "The Push." It was a painting of a little girl with a determined look on her face, pushing a small boy on a green garden swing, sending him soaring toward a sky filled with stars and planets. Across the crowded room, I saw him, Leo. He was leaning against a wall, just watching, that same proud, quiet smile on his face. He caught my eye and gave me a small nod. In that moment, time seemed to collapse. I was 7 and I was 27. I was the one pushing, and I was the one being pushed. The garden swing taught me a profound lesson. Sometimes, we're the ones who need to provide the push, to give someone the momentum they need to fly. And other times, we are the ones who need to let someone else push us, to trust that they see the heights we can reach even when we can't. It's a beautiful exchange of energy, of faith, of love. It's about knowing when to push, and knowing when to let yourself be pushed towards your own sky. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe for more. Who is the pusher in your life? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.